Within the challenges and obstacles lies the potential, and it is from that potential that life is truly lived. This quote was proven true by our Lady Bazigas. We can regularly find our inner strength through uplifting stories. You might find inspiration and motivation in an outstanding story. It also helps you to identify what you can and cannot accomplish. To be driven to increase your productivity every day, all we need is just a motivating factor. Different people respond to motivation in different ways and different manners. The inspirational tales encourage common individuals to pursue great ambitions. Through the Lady Bazigar series, Project Guri offers you the chance to discover your motivating factor today. Now, I invite Gauri to enlighten us about Sarkari School NGO and Project Guria.
Highlight the hard work of individuals in the field of school education, uplifting the future of younger generations and those who are not related to government or any organization, but are helping the neglected strata of Indian society. These secular innovators redefine the field of education with a lot of self-determination and hard work, and thus deserve recognition. Sarkari School works on featuring unsung heroes who are underrated in this society. We give a platform to those people who have worked for betterment of school education with a holistic point of view. Individuals who genuinely help government schools and underprivileged kids should have a voice and proper appreciation for the education and dedication of hard work. We at Sarkari School help eradicate the dichotomy that exists between private and public sectors of education. The neglected strata of society needs attention. When it comes to Project Guria, gender inequality has been experienced all over the world for ages. Though it has decreased over time, still girls face many kinds of discriminations. Girls are still being discriminated against in terms of various aspects as compared to their male counterparts. The primary aspect in terms of gender inequality has been experienced in education. A project aims at increasing the enrollment of girls in the elementary and primary education in government schools. We help the government institutions to build a safe learning space by spreading awareness and organizing donation drives. The project envisions to reduce the poor sex ratio in classroom and supporting the little Gudias to follow their dreams. Over to you, Maitri.
We launched the series in February and had around 8 episodes, which got an exhilarating response, and that is why we are back brimming with enthusiasm for the part 2 of the series. Heartiest welcome, ma'am, and everyone. We are looking forward to have an amazing time with you all. Project Korea has been arranging a one-on-one interview sessions with girl icons who are doing or have completed their higher education despite facing struggles financially, socially, or ill health issues throughout their journey. It is indeed an inspirational series for all the young, aspiring girls out there. The inspiring icons talk with us, share their passion, hobbies, success mantras, inspirational models, and motivational tools. They share their struggling stories, they stimulate our audience to stop not till they have reached their goals of attaining education and being self independent. Till now, we have done one on one interview sessions with many inspiring icons, which have been a huge success. This series not only inspires the audience but also encourages the icons to carry on their journey to further higher levels. By reflecting on their struggles, even if they feel low or try to give up at any point in their lives, their stories work as motivational tool for themselves. We aim to spread the air of inspiration from these real life stories of attaining education by girls fraught with hardships so that others could realize the importance of education, that education is a weapon that can empower them and that would eventually lead to a good, healthy society and a developed nation. Today, we are delighted to have here Ms. Madhulika Sharma. She is a certified client counseling associate from American Philosophical Practitioners Association, United States of America. She completed her master's in philosophy from Ramjas College, University of Delhi. Along with her convener, She started the NSS Society at Lakshmi Bai College, University of Delhi in 2015 and has served as president for 2 consecutive years for the same. She is currently working as a philosophical counselor in India, where she conducts individual sessions, student counseling, group counseling, and couples counseling. Now, I would like Astha to take over.
Thank you very much, Maitri. Now, this is the most awaited moment to hear from none other than our Lady Bazigar, Madhulika ma'am. Ma'am, how are you and how are you feeling about this episode today?
First of all, thank you so much, Astha and Vetri. Thank you so much for the introduction. Again, it's a delight. Last time, as I complimented, this is a very wonderful initiative by Sarkari School. And yes, Lady Baziker series is inspirational for me as well. When I went through the stories and your past work, it is a very revolutionary step because understanding the importance of not just education, but becoming independent in life in general so valuable and it's mostly never reflected upon like how we reflect upon it after doing certainly something but we never begin with that purpose in life that why I want to become independent, why I want to do this. So absolutely an honor to be a part of this series. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So let's begin with first. You can tell us about how were you as a child? Were you really studious or just a fun-loving kid, or like really serious one?
Okay, so as a child, I was not so much into studies. I was interested in playing, and I was a very shy kid, very reserved kid. But yes, I'll make one or two friends and I'll enjoy my time with them. So my childhood or me as a child was never into studying at all. I was more interested in creative stuff, anything related to knowing something new. I'll try to push myself into that. So yes, I was not into studies.
That's so interesting. So now let's begin with the story of your life. So, Miss Madhulika, how did your journey start? How did you decide to be a philosophical counselor? And why did you take a philosophy as a subject? Because as a subject, we didn't study philosophy in school, right? So, how did you take this up in college?
Okay, so maybe I'll go back to my school days because that played a very important role in becoming who I am. So my childhood, as I said, I was a very shy and reserved girl, and I was not, I was okay in my own space, but I was very much underconfident as a child, and I didn't know how to handle if someone shouts at me. I would just simply cry and I'll try to be a very very good girl all the time, and if it's not my mistake and someone just says that oh it's your mistake and puts the blame on me, then it will take me days to come out of it. And there were several episodes like this because when you're underconfident, when you're reserved, then you don't create boundaries for yourself. You let anyone come into your life and just take over the control, and as child no one is aware about it. So especially that teenage phase where everyone is going through several changes mentally, physically, emotionally. So during that time, I had a lot of problems physically as well. I was exposed to chicken pox, and that really affected my health and my confidence just went down because it could be watched like I could see my body changing and everyone observing it, and I was quite teased because of the scars and acne which were coming during that time, and it just played a very important role on my confidence. And the problem later not was just was not about people pointing out my flaws, but they took it to an extent where I was also uh, bullied because of it. So there were remarks, there were comments which were happening through and through, and even the teachers were not that intervening. So they will know they knew what was going wrong. It was like I was all by myself. And that really was a very low phase in my life. And it happened when I was just 11. So at that age, it's very impactful. So continuously after like at least for another 2, 3 years, it went on like this. because my class was the same. We didn't shuffle. So the same environment, same type of group, same comments, same issues. Nothing was changing, I felt. Only after, I think, 2, 3 years, what changed was that I think my perspective about life was changing. Like, I felt, what are they judging me on? Or maybe on what basis are they judging me? Is this external me the only me which bothers, or I am more than this, that? I think there was sudden like a awakening moment for me. I have no idea from where it came. Maybe I was also reading more religious text or some mythological references, but certainly there was certain shift in my perspective about life. As you grow up, I think you become more wiser. And as I said, there was no other option just to tolerate what was happening. So tolerance is something which can make you very courageous and even more powerful in nature. As you become more, you can build more resistance. I think it really helps in getting out of things also, because then you stop caring after a certain point. So that perspective really changed, that I am more than just how I look, what I am, and what are my problems are. So eventually, I even took control over my studies. I started taking my studies more seriously. I became more interested in studying. And as you start excelling in one thing, I feel it motivates you to do it better. So after eighth, I improved on my studies. I took it seriously. My teachers were also noticing that effort, and it really changed the outlook of my classmates also. Because when I was not doing well academically and even facing problem physically, even they noticed that okay, now I have certain weakness which can be picked upon. And these children, who pick upon your problems, it's not that they do it for fun. They also do it for recognition. They want that status in class. They want that power, that see, we can tease people. They think it's a very powerful tool, but rather it's a sign of very major weakness. So even eventually when I became more stronger about my flaws, I didn't care much. I didn't cry. I didn't give any reaction. Even their uh, actions limited, like they stopped commenting, and it was eventually like it reduced to a point where I was like, fine, do it, I don't mind, it's okay. Eventually after my eighth, I think I started building on my confidence. I took over a lot of control over my physical health, emotional health. Even I was very much into sports, so I was part of a lot of sports teams. So my only intention of coming to school was playing and studying and meeting friends. So I limited my circle, I'm limited my intentions, as in why I'm doing what I'm doing. I think I recognized it at that point, and it made a very, very major change. It was not like the problem stopped or I didn't react emotionally. At least now I know why it was happening. And that self-awareness is a key, I think, which brings a certain level of change. So as I told that before, that the bullying, it didn't stop. It was still there till 10th. It was there because our class was the same. Only when I chose a different stream, our classes changed, the environment changed. And as I told, I was growing individually also. I think as person, my academic interest was also increasing with time as I was excelling in or maybe becoming better in certain things. I felt like I want to know more. I want to study more. I just want to know what I'm doing, because it's not just economics, maths. It's like it can be fun if you start really enjoying it, if you start really taking interest in it. I wasn't a topper, not at all, but at least I was doing good according to my own capacity. And I didn't had any major tuition classes or something, so I was managing things on my own end. And in 11th, I did a lot better academically. I was doing very well. I topped certain subjects. I took commerce, and my class, even we had certainly the same students who were bullying me a few years ago. Even they were in the same class, at least one or two of them. And you wouldn't believe, when I changed, their reaction to me changed, and they also became my friends. The same group which was bullying me, the same people who were teasing me earlier, when I left my school, they were my friends. And we still are in certain level. And I did talk to them, and I communicated my problems with them, that, okay, even if you have friends, this happened few years ago. I, I eventually became very vocal about my own feelings, which I was not. And that shift, it came out of a bit of anger, I would say, because I was very angry, like why people are doing this to me. I didn't hurt them. But eventually it became more subtle. I was taking it more calmly, like, fine, that's okay. I mean, I cannot control them, I can control my actions. So, yes, that shift really motivated me. So, somewhere or the other, since a very childhood, I was always intrigued in helping others, in understanding emotional or why it is important, how important is emotional well-being, because I was equally impacted by it. And the things we consider are important, be it career, be it how you look, be it how you dress up. I mean, I realize they don't define you. They can never define you. These are all materialistic traits. I mean, they will come and go with time. Everyone has to get old. Everyone has to will have gray hair one day and will have wrinkles, and every body changes will be happening. But the true essence, what you are, is something very much beneath all this. These are all superficial layers which will fade with time. Your body changes with time, your health changes with time. But what remains same is the real you, which is very deep within. So I was always attached with this feeling. I even started reading a lot of self-help books in my 11th and 12th class, and that motivated me and actually inspired me to should we actually pick philosophy, because I just opted philosophy just like that because according to my cutoff, my 12th exam result, I just applied for courses, and like in Delhi University, you just have to shortlist certain courses, and then you can choose in whichever stream you want to go according to your cutoff or college. So I got philosophy in my first cutoff, and I just went and simply applied, and I got, I mean, I had to do nothing. I was waiting if I can get anywhere else also, but I was fine with that decision. It was something I feel it was all destined. It was all in the destiny, I feel, because just randomly picking up a subject I had a hunch about, but I didn't knew what philosophy was. And then just going and submitting it was like everything was going in such a flow that I didn't even feel I was being forced or what I am doing. I never had a second thought. I think that is something I even tell to my teachers, that philosophy was always in my destiny, because somewhere or the others, the series of events which were happening in my life, I think they all were directing me to opt for philosophy. So yes, after coming into graduation, it was again, I said, like, my basic interests were always in helping people or being around people, knowing them, and even also knowing me in the process. Uh, College played a revolutionary role in my life because it was a girls' college. As I told you, my past experience, and especially the bullying incidents, and being around boys was not always a confident area of my life. So in girls' college, and especially having a community of like-minded people who are also undergoing the same process of knowing what they're doing. Especially opting philosophy is not just like you opt philosophy and it's over. There is this. It's like you're exposed to so many concepts which you always thought were all right. Even the concept of existence, God, like I told, beauty, we all look at it from such an angle where we think whatever the society says to us is the reality. But once you start reading other people's opinions, especially wise thinkers, how they look at these concepts about what is beauty, what is life, it changes. And what is right or wrong, even. We never look at things from that angle. And so me and my classmates, we all were undergoing the same process, like we are being exposed to something different, like a bomb has just been, you know, disposed on us, and we have to now, we are like, where are we? It was a very, again, a self realization phase. It was an awakening phase again, I would say. So, so with me and my like-minded friends, we all were learning a lot of things. And it was just not learning philosophy. I was learning a lot about my own self. So I took up various opportunities in college. I was very shy in my school, and I was a completely opposite person when I was in my college. I think I took a rebirth. Maybe it was my second birth, I would say. Because if I see how I was in my school and I was in my college, it was just it's a completely opposite thing, because I was not. I was like, I have to just वो होता है ना, पुराने बस सालों का वो निकालना है कि वो जो नहीं करा, एक्टिविटीज में पार्ट नहीं लिया, because I was shy, because I was not feeling confident. I was like, I'm not going to put myself in that box again. So I joined theater in my first year, and that was another level of journey because theater is not easy, and the preparation it requires emotionally, physically was very challenging. But as I had my friends, and it was a very interesting experience. I had to let myself be in it, and the I think that courage and confidence which I had, I think it majorly came out of those 4 5 months because theater exposes you and it really helps to bring out something very different in you which you never knew, like your emotional resistance, how you can go from happy to sad in just seconds. That is very challenging and it's very creative in process. So anyone who is watching and is thinking about joining theater, at least join for an experience to learn a lot of things. It really helps in at least making you more confident. So after joining theater, I had to leave it because of the timing issues and some classes were also getting missed. So I had to shift. Then I joined NSS, and that was again a phase where in my life what I feel was that my my choices have been, though they have been impromptu, but I always feel that something or the other was just guiding me along. Me picking up these choices were just helping me or build a better me, actually, I would say. After joining NSS, I realized what social work is. I had no realization before that. I had no idea that what social work as a field is, like how you can help. I understood help as, you help a person cross a road or you help a person who needs food, you will give them some food or shelter, or maybe it's not shelter, some clothing and etc. Like I thought donation is only the form of social work. I had no other idea that social work is much beyond than just donating. It's also about helping them also become independent and autonomous, like especially the children. If you start working with a very young age students, and I think children who are not so privileged, you realize how privileged you are. I mean that's something which you never take, like you always take for granted. You never realize how important it is. So you start realizing your own, first of all, the thing you have in your life, like education wise, home wise, and people you have around. And then you also realize that if these children can be encouraged and can be guided, they really can create a lot of differences in future, not just for the society, for them, for their own family, everyone around them. It's about guiding them throughout. So guidance and help is not just donation or in a donation form. I think your words, your efforts, they are much more beyond than any materialistic help. Because if a child is motivated at the right time, I remember it was not just teaching them. They used to come with similar problems, which even I went as a child, like certainly certain level of bullying and girls not being allowed to study. And I was with those kids around, and me and my other team members, we were working with them. But in that process, our words were like so motivating and encouraging to them because you can see that in their eyes. There's a sparkle which shines, which okay, we are trying to help them and they are understanding us. And we also feel maybe someone would have helped us at that age. Maybe when I go back to my own childhood, maybe someone would have helped me during that time. And like I told you, my teachers were not that helpful. Maybe they were not realizing actually what type of help I need. I will go to them, but they wouldn't help me in any ways. Like they won't provide me any guidance. And I think that is something which I also learned, that whenever someone is in the same position like me, what I have to do. Because when you're not provided with the same support and help, you know the importance of it. You know the importance of being friendly only when you realize when someone is not friendly to you, how it makes you feel. You only realize the importance of kindness when you understand when someone is unkind to you, how it makes you feel. So only with that learning, I think whatever I lacked or whatever I was not provided, I was able to provide others with the same level of, um, I think, so zeal. And working in NSS day and night, because I said like I had started the society with my mom, and it was different journey as a leader. I never knew that I could ever lead something. This skill or this word, leadership, it's so heavy in nature that you can always feel, I mean, you might feel at a point, am I worth it? Can I do it? These questions, they keep coming in your mind as a doubt. But during NSS, or maybe when I was starting NSS, I had no doubt because, as I said, I was just doing it for my own self. I was just trying to help as much as I can, and I was just trying to be a good resource to my teachers. That's it. And I felt when you have no doubt, when there's no fear and doubt both, you start doing things so actively that you are all devoted in the action and not in the thinking. You're not trapped in your mind. You're just doing things. You're doing it for the society. You're doing it for your teachers. And the doing is far more important than thinking. Because the more you think, you start overthinking at a certain level. You start creating a lot of doubts. So instead of going in that direction, it's limiting yourself to one task and just doing it. So NSS really helped me clear a lot of self doubts, which I had, I think so, since my childhood. It's all about taking an action and just committing to it. So eventually, I was selected as a best NSS student, and that was my first trophy ever of getting any award in any form. So when I got that award, I realized that I never was doing it for it. I was never even aware that there is any award. I was just doing it. It was just about the effort and never the end, like I'll get something. So again that famous saying, कर्म करते जाओ फल की चिंता मत करो. तो वही चीज मैंने अपनाई, बस कर्म करा सोच के कि बस यही मुझे आता है और यही चीज है. जब फल मिला तब पता चला अच्छा इसका कोई फल भी है, मुझे तो पता भी नहीं था क्योंकि मेरे लिए बस वो एक लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस हो रहा था. एंड बस वहां से शुरुआत थी आई थिंक. वहां से मुझे लगा कि हाँ हेल्प कैसे करी जाती है और कैसे सोशल वर्क को आप यूज कर सकते हो. वो मैंने तब एनएसएस से फर्स्ट ईयर में जाना. फिर आई वॉज अगेन selected as a president. This time I was very clear what I have to do. तो टीम एक्सपेंशन से लेके एक्टिविटीज प्लानिंग तक बहुत सारी चीजें एक साल में सीख ली थी. बहुत मेहनत लगी ऑनेस्टली. वो मेहनत ऐसी थी कि करने के बाद रियलाइज हुआ कि कहाँ से निकले. बिकॉज एक एक चीज के लिए 10-10 चक्कर लगाना, फंड्स नहीं है, अपने फंड्स अपने सेविंग्स यूज कर करके परमिशंस लेना, वो सब करा. बट कोई रिग्रेट, कोई ऐसा नहीं कि अरे बाप रे कितने मेहनत करी, नहीं. उसका कोई आभास ही नहीं था. उसका बस एक यही पता था कि just do it. It was just like that. But second year, I was very prepared. I was very much organized, and it first of all, it also brought a lot of changes in my communication. I was very clear about what I had to say, how to guide, how to instruct. That something was helping all along. Even I was selected as the president of my own department of philosophy during my last year. So I was managing two societies at a time. So it was all like I was multitasking day and night, even managing my studies. But it was just the zeal to do a lot of things. I then realized that during my school years, I had suppressed a lot of my qualities and capabilities just because of certain fear, what others will think, how they will judge me. वो एक कांस्टेंट फियर था दूसरों का. एंड कॉलेज में वो चीज हटी क्योंकि इट डिड मैटर. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ए मे बी देयर वर ओनली गर्ल्स अराउंड, सो मे बी दैट आल्सो चेंज दैट थिंग. But again, yes, it played a very major role. So for last year, mein aake, I also interacted with other colleges, and our community of NSS was not just limited to my college. हम दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी के और कॉलेजेस के साथ कोलैबोरेट कर रहे थे, तो हमारा सर्कल बहुत वाइड हो गया, जिसकी वजह से मैं बहुत एक्टिवली पार्टिसिपेट करी थी बाकी कॉलेजेस के साथ. सो माय fear to interact with boys also, I think it disappeared because when I was associating myself with work, जब मैं कुछ काम के लिए जा रही तो it didn't matter who is there, who is which gender, what type, no, it didn't matter, and it start changing. And especially जब इतना noble act हो social work का, तो फिर आपको पता ही है कि intention सबके wise ही हैं, सबके noble ही हैं, तो आप तब और थोड़ा confident रहते हो in life. So this is how my college, my graduation was bringing certain changes. Uh, then I thought I want to have a career in social work, honestly, because मैंने इतना social work में काम कर लिया था, तो philosophy को थोड़ा साइड रख के मैं social work की तरफ ध्यान देने लगी. आई थॉट मैं सोशल वर्क में जॉब का एक्सपीरियंस लेके फिर डिसाइड कर सकती हूँ कि मुझे क्या करना है, अगर मुझे कंटिन्यू करना है कि नहीं. सो आई स्टार्टेड वर्किंग एट एम्स हॉस्पिटल दिल्ली. आई वर्कड with a doctor who was working in preventive care. So we were working in writing projects to spread more awareness about cancer. And especially we were our projects were mostly focused for northeastern states because वहाँ पे सबसे ज्यादा कैंसर रेट्स था. तो वहाँ मैं पैरेलली मास्टर्स में एनरोल कर चुकी थी. तो डीयू में मास्टर्स में अटेंडेंस का इतना इश्यू था नहीं. पर एज आई सेड दैट आई वांटेड टू मेक अ चॉइस कि सोशल वर्क करना है प्रोफेशनली कि नहीं. तो सोशल वर्क में जब I started working, I realized a lot of limitations also. When you do it professionally as a job, it's not always that easy because बहुत सारी चीजें, especially how to not just write projects, not just implementation, the environment plays a major role. And if you don't share the same values with others or the same intention with others, it changes the whole work. सो फॉर मी आई देन रियलाइज दैट मेरे लिए मेरे वैल्यूज और एथिक्स कितने इंपॉर्टेंट है. मैं वो कभी भी नहीं चाहूंगी मैं कॉम्प्रोमाइज करूं एंड फिर उस बेसिस पे काम करूं. तो वो एक और रियलाइजेशन था कि ओके अगर करियर बनाना है तो ये चीज सैक्रिफाइस नहीं हो सकती, बाकी सब कर लो, ये नहीं हो सकता. तो वो एक इंटेग्रिटी शायद उस टाइम मुझे मिली, वो आई, वो नेचुरली आई. मतलब मुझे पता भी नहीं था कि वो कितनी इंपॉर्टेंट है मेरे लिए. And then I tried, I exposed myself into it, but somewhere or the other, I realized, no, this is not something I want to help with. Like, I realized somewhere or the other that if your mindset is not right, if your thinking is not correct, you cannot you cannot actually bring a very real change. That was for me. एज इन आप कोशिश कर सकते हैं कि आप ये हुआ भी. सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल व्हेन वी इन एनएसएस हम जब एक गांव में गए तो वहां पे हमने काम करा तो रियलाइज करा कि सिर्फ करने में नहीं है, वो जो सोच है ये कैसे बदलती है, ये जो माइंड का गेम है सारा, ये कहाँ से है, ये कैसे बदला जा सकता है. तब I felt that yes, I want to maybe enter into counseling. I want to bring that change because I think I can create deeper impact in that. And not just social work parallelly हो सकता है, but वो जड़ पे काम करना, वो सोच पे काम करना, वो एटीट्यूड पे काम करना, वो और मेजर चेंज ला सकता है. लाइक आई टोल्ड यू इन एनएसएस जब हम बच्चों के साथ कर रहे थे, सिर्फ पढ़ाना नहीं, उनकी सोच, उनकी जो समझ थी सोसाइटी को लेके, वो भी बदलना बहुत जरूरी था. एंड दे हैड वेरी रिग्रेसिव थिंकिंग कि कुछ लड़कियां आती थी वो कहती थी बस आना है और शादी के बाद तो घर पे रहते हैं, कोई जॉब तो है नहीं, वो तो बस पढ़ रहे हैं पढ़ने के लिए. फिफ्थ क्लास में अगर बच्चों की ऐसी सोच है, सिर्फ लड़कियों की, लड़कों की भी यही सोच थी. तब रियलाइज होता था कि प्रॉब्लम सिर्फ एक्शन में नहीं है, इवन थॉट, आपका थॉट प्रोसेस, सोसाइटी का माइंड, सोसाइटी कैसे सोचती है और आपका माइंडसेट कैसे बनता है. जब ये रियलाइज हुआ देन आई फेल्ट दैट आई हैव टू एंटर इनटू काउंसलिंग. एंड during my masters my professor introduced this new field of counseling, and together we started working on this philosophical counseling as a field. And when I did my certification I started working professionally. So just a quick run through of what has happened and how things led to where I am.
That's a beautiful journey, actually, and I think you faced a lot of challenges as a child, and I'm glad that you overcome there. And it was really inspiring how you, overcame it because we can relate it a lot. Like I think every child goes through this, and I think you're a true inspiration for everybody now. So now I would like you to tell me, like, when did you decide to choose philosophy? Like, when you decided that you're going to choose philosophy as a subject in graduation, you must have faced a lot of criticism or questions from parents, families, neighbors, everybody. So how did you tackle that, and how did you answer and convince them that you want to do this?
Absolutely. Yes, Astha, that was a very major problem. फिलोसफी एज अ सब्जेक्ट आपको लगता है कि या तो बहुत ही महान लोग करते हैं, या फिर अगर आप फिलोसोफर बन गए तो आप या तो पागल हो सकते हैं. दिस इज अ वेरी कॉमन प्रॉब्लम और एटीट्यूड. सो यस, फिलोसफी इज ओनली फॉर इनसेन. ये चीज तो मैंने कहाँ कहाँ नहीं सुनी. तो यस, माय पेरेंट्स were not that, they were not questioning it, like they are not aware. I mean, I'm in a way, I'm a first graduate in my family, so they were confident कि अब ठीक है, अगर कुछ करना है, जो भी करना है उसमें एक्सेल करना, अगर ले रहे हो तो उसी बेसिस पे लेना. So they were support. But yes, people around me, I mean my relatives, my neighbors, as parents, everyone wants good for their children. So they were asking others also if she's taking the right step or not. And no one knew about this precisely, philosophy as a subject. So no one was guiding, but सब अपनी अपनी राय दे रहे थे, नहीं ये करवा दो, वो करवा दो. बट आई फेल्ट कि नहीं, आई थिंक मैं अभी जिस डायरेक्शन में जा रही हूँ, एज आई टोल्ड यू, मैंने एडमिशन ले लिया था. उसके बाद क्रिटिसिज्म चल रहा था, क्योंकि मैं एडमिशन लेने के बाद फिर मैं सोच रही थी कि अच्छा नेक्स्ट स्ट्रीम, नेक्स्ट कट ऑफ कहाँ आती है, कौन सी स्ट्रीम में आते हैं, फिर देखते हैं. लकीली कोई अच्छे कोर्स में मुझे और मिला भी नहीं, और किसी का मुझे पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू इतना bothersome लगा भी नहीं, because I decided that I have to shift to arts also. So either I had philosophy, English or something like that only. So I didn't open myself to other options. But yes, my parents were okay with the fact, yes, but people were not. So I overcome with this again attitude that anyways I've taken the admission, and it is me who has to decide it. So it didn't matter that much. That I learned very early, I think. So eventually it didn't bother.
That's great. I'm glad your parents were supportive. So now I would want to ask, since you are a certified client counselor associate from the American Philosophical Practitioners Association USA, why did you not decide to practice that in USA? Why just in India? Why not in USA?
Okay, so first of all, it was an online course, as we took this course during COVID first wave. So when COVID had occurred, like I told you, I was already working with my professor, and हमें वो right opportunity मिल नहीं रही थी, या फिर हम सोच भी नहीं रहे थे कि इतना भी urgent है, as we were exploring this field. But when COVID came, I think it became a matter of urgency that now something we have to do. We have to reach out to people, and this is the right time. So जो अमेरिकन फिलोसफिकल प्रैक्टिशनर्स एसोसिएशन है, वो ऑफलाइन ही कोर्सेज देते हैं. But when we requested them that this is something which we want to start now, because this is the highest time and it's the need of the hour. So they were very kind in offering it off online for us. So me and my professor, and there were other 13 people with whom we started this course, as in learning this course, taking training in it. But yes, the problem again was people were not aware of what it is and what philosophical counseling is. So वहाँ भी challenges थे, but I think it was all about starting. As we all started as individual counselors, I think somewhere or the other people started reaching you out. So when someone is not satisfied with the other modes of counseling, those people were coming to me and to others as well. So initially it was just about starting. So USA, actually my services are all across world. So initially I had 2 3 counselees from USA as well. So that was one thing I think COVID helped in exploring, working from home, working online, reaching out to the world. So that is one thing which became very beneficial. So that is why I didn't plan to work from, or we couldn't work from USA anyways.
Right. Okay. So now I would want you to tell me what was the lowest and highest point of your career according to you, and what did you do in those situations?
Okay. So, as I told you that I wanted to work in social work only. So after my graduation, during my graduation actually, I had applied for my master's in social work. I mean, for the entrance exam in social work. And I did a lot of hard work. Like I got selected in Azim Premji, but I didn't choose to go there. I wanted to do it from Delhi University. So I had applied for a master's in social work, and I didn't get through the entrance, and it really, really devastated me. I was in a very low phase. That 1 month, I think I just was shut in my own shell. So it took me a very, very hard time. Like I had a choice to opt for masters in philosophy, but I was very, very determined to go for master in social work. Some of my friends got selected, and they we all had planned that we'll together work in social work, and as we all started together only. But sadly, I couldn't. So that was the very lowest point in my life. And to overcome it, I had to take a choice. I said that okay, अगर social work ऐसे नहीं हो सकता है तो फिर जॉब करके देखते हैं. तो मैंने तभी एनरोल करा, तभी मैंने सोचा प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंस लेना ज्यादा बेटर है rather than just fixing one theory. And the highest point, there have been many highs, there have been equally lows, but I think the first time I was awarded, I was not doing it for the award, but the first time in my life I was recognized for my efforts. That recognition really motivates you. It brings a major shift. And the first time I was called on stage, and it was very wonderful feeling. So I think that was my. I will always think that that is my highest high, even if I have any other high, because that shifted my view about my own self. I think so. That is
That's great. So if you were to describe your journey in one single sentence, what would it be and why?
why. I think it would be a journey from fear to courage. I think it's just one step away. And the more you feel fearful, the more you feel that what others will think, what you think, it just creates another level of tension. And I think life is, anyways, too short. I think COVID has something somewhere changed that perspective about life. We think कि चलो medically अब हम इतने डेवलप हो चुके हैं, ये चीज होगी तो हम सेफ हैं, पैसा होगा तो हम सेफ हैं. बट जब चीजें अनसर्टन होती हैं, जब चीजें स्पेशली व्हेन इट कम्स टू लाइफ इन जनरल, it feels like nothing is in our control anyways. So why to take tension of what others are thinking? If it is just about such a small life, then how many times and how many times we will stop ourselves from trying? So when I realized that it was just my own perspective which was stopping me to learn so much, and that moment when I, as I told you, I eventually, I was learning it throughout, but when I took that step, no, I have to take control of my life, that shifted. Opportunity started coming to me. I started learning a lot. आपको लगता है आप जीना सीख गए हो दोबारा से, कि ये भी एक अलग तरीके से जी सकते हो. So that courage, that changes. So I think the only sentence is from fear to courage.
That's really inspiring, ma'am. Okay, so what changes have you seen in yourself from the first day of your college to today, and what was the biggest life lesson you have learned till now?
Okay. So this is something I even realized very recently, that I used to, if I was a person, अगर कॉलेज में जब वो चेंज आया तो मैं ऐसे हो गई थी कि अगर कोई कुछ गलत बोलता है या फिर कोई कुछ गलत करता है, I will always try to, take a stand, and maybe I'll become angry at a point where I will take some decisions like, no, you have to leave this room. You cannot do this. I was becoming very authoritative. So, power sometimes spoil you, which was happening in a way with me during college. And I was realizing it, that it's not at all healthy. You cannot be rude to people, even if they're rude to you. You cannot be, just unkind to anyone, because it is not their actions, it is actually how they have been risen. This is how their attitude is towards life. It's not just their problem, they have been built up like this. And in a way, my shouting at them wouldn't even help. So when I was becoming more, I felt I was becoming more rude, because I was thinking, yeah, I can control things according to me. And recently, when I actually started this course, and when I was exposed to counseling, it shifted my perspective. I mean, how important it is to be calm and humble to people, irrespective of how their actions are. Because they are already wrong. And if you also act in the same way, how different are you from them? You cannot lose yourself in the process of helping others. You have to be very, very strong in that perspective. So, yes, being humble and kind and being peaceful equally. आप it's like you have the most important things in your life and you cannot sacrifice. Like जैसे पैसे की वैल्यू है वैसे शांति की वैल्यू है. Peace and I think kindness is most valuable things in my life because rarely it is exchanged. And I realized that. So that was one change in me from not being aggressive or assertive to being humble and kind.
That's very important, I think, in today's times. Peace and being humble for everybody is really important, I think. So, lastly, what piece of advice would you like to give to the audience and us today? And what, according to you, which, according to you, is the most important thing in anyone's life?
That you are the hero of your own life. This is something which we all say very commonly या फिर बहुत फिल्मी है but नहीं, it's a reality. It is your life. You have to take control of it, irrespective of what society says. Because see, भले वो फिल्मी गाना है पर लोगों का काम है कहना, पर वो कह रहे हैं, आप मानो ना मानो वो आपकी चॉइस होनी चाहिए. अगर आप मान लेते हो कि जो वो कह रहे हैं, वहां हम सबसे बड़ी गलती करते हैं. Accepting someone's view about yourself without even reflecting upon it कि क्या वो जो कह रहे हैं वो सही है कि नहीं, क्या उनकी सोच मेरे जो जैसे वो सोच रहे हैं क्या मैं अपने बारे में ऐसे सोचती हूँ कि नहीं, ये क्वेश्चन करना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. So I personally feel that before accepting anyone's view, you have to understand it is your life. Live the way you want to live. Yes, there will be challenges. It's never easy. It's never easy for even the richest man on the earth. It's never easy for anyone. If you if you know what you're doing and why you're doing, then it doesn't matter how difficult it is. If you're on a path of life, anyways, life is a ongoing journey. It can never be just, a good happy go lucky and वो बिल्कुल पॉजिटिव वो एक फिल्म की तरह ना जो बहुत हैप्पी हैप्पी होती है वो ऐसी हैप्पी एंडिंग शायद लाइफ में पता नहीं कब मिलती है कहाँ मिलती है बट वी हैव टू स्टार्ट एंजॉइंग द जर्नी एंड इफ यू वांट टू अकम्प्लिश समथिंग नेवर जस्ट पुट एन एंड लाइक थिंकिंग कि ये मुझे लाइफ में चाहिए बस ये मिल जाएगा तो मैं खुश हो जाऊंगी ये भी अपने साथ मत करना because you never know what will happen once you achieve it. Maybe you want something more, you want something more. So learning how to be satisfied and when to say it's fine, I am fine, I don't need anything more. This is too important thing I feel. First, realizing yes, life is in your hand. It is you who is controlling your life. वो चाबी किसी और को मत दो. The control, the key of your life is in your hand. And second, yes, you should know where to satisfy and say, this is enough for me. Never become more greedy. So there is this, I don't know if this is a story or not, but yeah, it's a scientific fact. When our body starts also feeling the same way about growth, कि और चाहिए और चाहिए और चाहिए, अगर हमारी बॉडी वो चीज करे तो हमारी बॉडी एक्स्ट्रा सेल क्रिएट करती है और वो एक्स्ट्रा सेल क्रिएट करके क्या बनता है कैंसर. So if you think greed is right, if our body becomes greedy, it can create that. So it's never, the success can never be equated in getting more. It's always about knowing what you want and feeling satisfied after it. If you don't know what you want, at least go on with the journey of life, wherever you are heading. As I said, your values, for me, they played a major role. Then I knew where I have to limit myself. ये compromise नहीं होंगे तो ये मेरे लिए एक boundary line. I'm fine with doing whatever I'm doing. Identify that. Identify what is right for you, why it is right for you. So these are the two important learnings which I think I have learned and I can share that from my experience.
Those are literally golden words. I don't know about others, but they are really inspiring for me. I literally got goosebumps when you were speaking. Uh, I have no words how to explain how inspiring you were today and how glad I am to know you today. So, But now we have to end this session. Now I would like to invite Gitika to present the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. We have come to the end of this lively gathering prior to winding up. It is my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the organizing committee to Miss Madhulika present here, who, despite her busy schedule, has spared time to attend this Lady Bazigar episode. We congratulate you for the work that you are doing. The motivational stories inspire ordinary people to achieve extraordinary goals. Inspirational stories can serve as a great motivators, and we can read them to motivate ourselves when we are depressed. I feel blessed to give the vote of thanks to one of the greatest speakers who spared their time with us. It was indeed a pleasure having Madhulika ma'am. Finally, I would like to thank each and everyone from the team, including Abhishek Ranjan sir, team leads, volunteers.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are so glad to have you today and we wish you all the best for all your future endeavors. Have a great day, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Asta, Gitika, Abhishek, sir. Thank you, everyone. I hope I could help in certain ways. I don't find it, like
Great.
I don't think my journey is still ended. It's a lot of things which to be achieved. But yes, whatever I've learned throughout, I mean till now, I thought I'll just share that. It was my
Thank you.
privilege and honor to be a part of this initiative. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Bye.
Bye, ma'am.